I was in college on a trip in London. I was hanging around with this guy who was he was a bit provocative. I'm not sure what type he was. I think he was some kind of higher SE type, but he had a falling out with a few of the other guys on the trip. It's a funny story because it just sort of shows my INTJ in like the social kind of thing. It's hilarious. I mean, I realise it now, but at the time, I was a little clueless, and that's why it's funny. As an INTJ, like, we are quite real and quite oblivious as well. Sometimes socially, we can do sort of faux pas, as I like to say. This story is not a joke. This isn't like something I've set up. This is real. So, my mate fell out with these people, and we had all situated ourselves in this hostel in London, right? And, we were there for a trip to do with our work, basically. And he knocked on these two individuals' hostel room door, right? So I think there was, three individuals. So there's two girls and then a lad. They were in the same room, this tiny room, hostel rooms, right? And, he thought it'd just pop in, as people do apparently. So he knocked on the door and they answered and they were like, "Oh, hi," whatever. And he was like, "Oh, hi guys." And he was being really sarcastic. And at the time, this kind of went over my head. I didn't realise. So he goes into the room and, he said some sarcastic sort of things that I didn't realise. He stepped into the room, he was like, and he like sort of smelled the air, right? And he goes, "Smells nice in here," right? And of course I was like, I didn't realise that he was being like ironic. So I sort of stepped into the room like wholeheartedly. And I was expecting like one of the girls had some perfume. I don't know. I stepped into the room, I was like, and it was like proper body odour, right? And I didn't realise. And so I just stepped in, I was like, "Oh, jeez, oh my goodness, it does not smell good in here. What are you talking about? What's wrong with you?" And my mate never showed. He didn't laugh or anything. He just kept going with the joke. Then he was sort of like, "Smell you later, guys." And I was like, "Yeah, hopefully not. You want to spray some stuff around." Woo! And I wasn't trying to take the mick. Like, I was just being me. They're sort of like glaring at my mate. And I didn't get any glares. I guess they sort of knew I was clueless or something. Then we left, and then my mate was like, he was just sort of worshipping me as like some comedic genius. He was like, "Mate, you are hilarious. That was like the most funniest thing I've ever seen in my life." And I was like, "Huh? What do you mean?" "In there. Oh, that was amazing. You need to keep that up. That was great." And I was like, "Oh yeah, of course." And then I went away and then like reflected on it, and I was like, "Oh." Yeah, so at the time, I didn't think much of it. They were like glaring at my mate, and I thought, okay, well, I didn't feel bad about it, basically. I didn't feel like I just like pointed to the elephant in the room or something. I thought, well, you can't be mad at a bloke for just saying the truth. Objectively, it stinks in here. Spray some stuff, you're good. I didn't process in that way. I just thought, like, well, that's what you do, If it stinks in there, you help a brother out and you tell him.